Let me ask you one question. How long are you going to be alive? If you can answer that one question for me, I can help you plan perfectly to maximize your Social Security. Look, one of the biggest mistakes couples make is only thinking about themselves. And I don't mean that to sound selfishly, because it's not. Most of my clients care very deeply about their spouses. Well, most of them. But they don't realize that by only thinking about themselves, they may actually be shorting their spouse in the long run. What this comes down to is a lack of knowledge regarding the survivor benefit. When you are married, there are actually hundreds of combinations of when the two of you can collect your benefit. Hundreds. The most misunderstood and overlooked piece of this is that thing called the survivor benefit. So, what the heck is this survivor benefit? Well, it's the amount that the surviving spouse receives upon the death of the first spouse. The amount is the higher of the two benefit amounts. It's not some difficult calculation. It's as simple as this. You lose the lower of the two benefits regardless of which spouse passes away first. Now, I have additional training in this area and hold the certificate of the National Social Security Advisors. Not all advisors have this certificate, and surprisingly, there aren't a lot that do. You can actually look it up on the NSSA website to determine advisors in your area that have this type of training. I feel strongly about educating people as this information is not widely known. I typically only share this with my clients, but today I'm going to share this with you. My biggest advice to couples is to try to maximize the higher wage earner benefit, which will be the survivor benefit. Let me explain it to you this way. If you both take your benefit at 62, let's say here, then when one of you passes away, you lose that benefit. Now, if the higher wage earner maximizes it up to here, and then one of you passes away, now your benefit is at this level. So wouldn't it make sense to maximize one of the two of your benefits, likely the one that's higher? Now, there are a lot of variables, but in many cases, it makes sense if you are maximizing that higher wage earner benefit, then maybe the other spouse takes it a little bit sooner. The caveat to that is if they're still working, which means they would be subject to the earnings test and would likely make sense for them to wait until full retirement age when they could collect their benefit amount and still continue to make as much money as they want. Either way, the focus should be on the survivor benefit. This is the key to getting the most cumulatively from the government. Let me tell you a story. I had a client that was referred to me by one of my longtime clients because his advisor was recommending that she take her benefit early. I met with her and her husband. She was retiring soon and they were close in age. He had recently retired and had collected his benefit at age 62. His benefit was significantly lower than hers. She thought that because she was retiring around age 62 that she should take her benefit. And a lot of people think that because they think retirement and Social Security are synonymous, but actually they're not. Just because you retire early, it doesn't mean it necessarily makes sense to collect your benefit. So in her case, it was pretty much the same thing. But after I was able to show them the analysis, they were able to understand what I laid out earlier, that he had taken his at 62. And if she took hers at 62, then there would be really no maximization long term between the two of them with that survivor benefit. So the analysis clearly showed that by her waiting until at least full retirement age, but we could even make a case, and in many cases to wait until 70, they were getting significantly more on a cumulative basis over their lifespan from the government. So had they not come in to see us, they would have made that mistake unknowingly and potentially shorted themselves. Now, I want to make something clear. Just because in their case we had recommended that she wait on her Social Security, again, it didn't mean that she wait to retire or live a lesser lifestyle. It's more that just for that bucket, because we want to help our clients maximize each bucket, Social Security being one of them. So we're in turn helping them to take money from other assets to fill the gaps until they get to Social Security. I love my job. We have these conversations daily with people to help educate them so they can make the most informed decisions for themselves. We're not going to tell you what you have to do. We want to educate you and help build that plan around that. There are multiple variables when it comes to when you should take your Social Security, and it's important that you're working with someone who understands those. Social Security is one of the largest sources for income in retirement. In most cases, it represents 30% or more in retirement income. This is a very important decision and should be seriously considered with a professional, maybe us. If you're not sure what age you should file or how it affects your spouse, reach out to us. We can walk you through it in 10 minutes. We offer a complimentary Social Security analysis so that you can be educated and make the best decision for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, peace of mind is something you build on purpose. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.
We want to help be your guide along the way about how to, access your money and the best places to get it with the ups and downs, and we want to help you to take advantage of those different market cycles. So if that's what you're looking for, please reach out to us.